solitary confinement.
We wrote the book Letters to Our Sons. I have documented research and proof of what happens inside these prisons' walls. The research not only contains prisoner accounts, but it includes experiences of law enforcement, correction officers, activists, and other organizations.
This has been completely unscripted. They had no advanced knowledge of the questions I was about to ask. We chose to use Zoom video conferencing software. The connections you're about to see are based on the individual's access to technology and internet connections in the areas in which they live.
Solitary confinement.
For a lot of people that have just never experienced it, what would you tell them about your own personal experience with solitary confinement?
It's not for the weak-minded. It's not for the weak at heart. You'll go crazy. You know, if you're not strong, if you don't have something to occupy your mind, if you don't have something to look forward to, it'll break you. Picture being in your own home with no window, or the window's up so high you can't see it, door but you can't open it, there's no other contact, in there to read, nothing. You have no idea when you're getting out. This is probably almost going to be the end. And like a square cage, almost like a pit bull's kennel. And you come out there just to pretty much just get some air and see some sunlight. Then you're back in your home for another 23 hours. You may get the shower every 3 days or something like that. It's rugged. See, that's the part, Patty. That's a whole bunch of the part that these youth don't see. You understand what I'm saying? Out in the street, they see the glamorization of, the hustlers with the cars, with the jewelry, with the fly gear, with the chicks, with the paper. But of course, they don't get to see, the repercussion when that falls short. So that's the solitary. That's when they go crazy. That's when they.
What have you personally witnessed from other inmates?
I've seen a guy. I remember my very first bid in the 80s. Was getting ready to have a tryout with the Washington Bullets. He's the first person I ever seen ambidextrous shoot a jump shot. A week or so prior to his tryout, brother had used his car and did a stick-up, and they had a similar body build. The brother gets away, but somebody tagged the license plate. And then the brother left the burner in the car. A couple of days later, he's driving his own car, gets pulled, and ends up getting a time. And so, of course, needless to say, the basketball shot went out the window, and after about 4 to 5 years, all of a sudden he just snapped. I mean, he just started.
What do you mean? He just snapped?
He just snapped. He just went from being a normal person, inmate, to walking around talking to himself, eating grass, forgot about his hygiene. I mean, it was just crazy.
So you personally saw the effects of solitary confinement?
Patty, they'll put you on medication, Thorazine. Like if you wild out a lot, and have you be so slow. And I've seen people, the medicine, so much milligram, that while he was eating the ice cream in the summer, it would melt running down his hand because that's how slow he was pulling up to his mouth like this. You know what I'm saying? So if they don't drug you, if they don't make you crazy, you drive yourself crazy. You can.
Well, when I first went in, they placed me in Supermax, a place called Supermax. They put me there. I was 17 years old, and they put me there for 3 years. I stayed in there for 3 years. We took a shower every other day. We took one shower every other day. No recreation. You get a phone call once a month. You get 2 envelopes a month. No canteen. You get the hygiene product that the state provide for you. So basically, I was in this room forever. I stayed in the room I was only supposed to stay there for 6 months. That's what it was supposed to be. Supposed to only stay there for 6 months, and then you have to go out. But me knowing that these conditions wasn't conditions fit for a human, I did everything I could to get out of it. Every time they opened the door, I ran out the room. I ran out the room, throwing my food, throwing the clothes they gave me, everything that I could think of. bust the water sprinkler in the room just to get out of the room because I know that I was being held in here for too long and I wasn't supposed to be here. Sometimes they'll miss 2 or 3 months before they'll give us an envelope. So by the time you do get your envelope, you got 50 people to write that you would like to write, that you want somebody to talk to instead of talking to yourself all day. By the time you get your envelope to write your envelope, you're trying to fit 30 letters in one envelope. And they sending it back to you telling you it's too big for it to be sent out.
Is it the lack of human contact?
Definitely.
Is that the most difficult part of it?
Yeah. Yeah, the lack of and in my situation, the lack of human contact with me. I was, like I said, I was only 17 years old. So basically I was still learning what to do, how to act, everything. So the lack of human contact for me was stunting me from, basically knowing the things that I needed to know.
When you're taken away from human contact, you lose something. And as a convict, you go into this survival mode of, we don't ever want this situation we're in to break us. So we kind of mentally detach ourselves from all of the normal kind of like senses that everybody functions with every day. The everyday normal things don't bother us. We can't allow it to because it'll break us. So we detach ourselves from this. You know what I'm saying? From we almost, dehumanize ourselves for the sake of survival.
Like a hermit.
So, but as a convict, you call it being strong. I ain't gonna let that situation break me. But you don't realize the detriment and the things that we lose from that. And sometimes we don't like to admit it. We don't know it. Sometimes we don't realize it. Sometimes we don't realize it, but it does something to you. Being in prison alone does something to you. So solitary confinement is almost like a slow death, and it's meant for that. It's meant to do that to you. It's meant to break you.
Watch episode 2. Buy the book Letters to Our Sons, now available on Amazon. This series is produced, directed, and edited by Edge City Design. Interviewer is Patty Meyer. Technical advisor is John Gilbert of Videotech Global.
This is From Within. www.fromwithinseries.com